everyone. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mark, and I'm just messaging.
And this is Strange Stuff Podcast, episode 201. Nothing special, not our birthday, nothing.
Nothing. It's just completely nondescript.
It's an ordinary day. Not an ordinary day, however.
For what?
For airports in England yesterday.
Why?
Radar system failure shut down the country's air traffic control network.
What?
Affecting over 500,000 passengers on over 3,000 flights.
All right.
So well done you.
I wonder what... it's funny because I read the BBC News this morning, and let me have a look. There was nothing on it at all about airport chaos. No?
Well, bear in mind that the BBC are very particular about what they put on their website and what they don't.
I don't think there's anything political about airport failures. And funnily enough, one would have thought that they would report, because there was that ludicrous situation where there was a fire in an electrical substation and they decided to close down the whole airport a couple of months ago. Do you remember? For 3 days or 2 days?
Heathrow Airport in March.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was the day after Hannah flew out of the Heathrow Airport.
Oh, was it? Lucky her.
Yeah.
Lucky her is all I can say. So we've got torrential rain.
Oh, it's a beautiful summer's day here.
Oh, really? Still?
Yep. Alexa.
You know that you've had warmer temperature than we have.
27 degrees today.
Really? We've got nothing like it. I think it's probably about 20 today. I'm not complaining, we've had it so good. At the moment it's only 16 degrees. And we've got 3 raindrops on the rain cloud, so that's about as heavy as it gets. Kraftig rain, it says here.
Powerful rain.
Powerful rain.
Nonsense.
But, no, other than that, obviously I've got the fact, well, funny enough, they just walked out the door. Why it's so convenient to do it a little earlier today, because they've just walked out the door.
What, on their way home?
No, they're just going shopping. They're here until Sunday.
Shopping at this time of the morning?
Yeah, it's 8:15. Maxi.
That's my time.
Is that when you go shopping?
I'm the only one who goes shopping as soon as they open.
I was wondering what you did with your scooter. Did you abandon it 5 kilometres from home, or did you actually scoot it home?
It's too heavy to scoot. You cannot.
What?
Yeah, you can't. It's got an electric motor on one wheel.
So you can't freewheel it?
It's got resistance.
Oh, there's no freewheeling?
No, you can put it into freewheel mode, but the battery needs to be operative to actually change the modes.
So how could you have been so stupid not to notice it was about to go completely dead before putting it into freewheel mode? You're not very good at these things, are you?
Look,
actually.
I was quite happily poodling along. It was my fault, because the range on that thing is 70 kilometres, but that's only if you have it on normal mode. I always have it on sport mode. So it reduces the range and increases the speed. So, the thing is, when I was approaching Huelefte, I did look at mileage left, and I still had 50 kilometres, it said. So I thought, no worries. And that was the last time I checked. Went into town, did a little bit of shopping, went to see Robin, had a cup of tea, went and had some lunch with him, and then jumped back on my scooter and came home and just came to a complete stop about 5.7 kilometres away from home. So I walked it for 0.7 kilometres, but it was so hot, and I was carrying a full backpack of cat food and supplies. and my legs were giving me hell. So I ended up phoning one of my mates, and he came and picked me up.
Lucky for you.
Lucky.
Yeah. And what I didn't get a report on was your whitewater rafting you did the other day.
Actually, it was him who came to get me.
Oh, was it?
Eric. Yeah. Yeah, that went really well. It was surprising. It was scary. Did I send
yeah.
you? Did I show you the pictures?
No, didn't send me anything. Call yourself a mate.
Send them to you immediately. Okay, there's me
What?
and Eric relaxing.
Oh, there we go. Handy. What? They're literally.
Look at the size of them.
Look at the size of him. You mean?
Yeah, Eric, he's a big boy. 240 kilos.
No one weighs 240 kilos.
240 kilos.
I'm
He's 2 meters
surprised.
tall as well.
I'm surprised that was the blow-up boat was big enough to hold him.
Technically, it wasn't. There was a lot of overspill. And apparently the limit on those little dinghies is 200 kilos. As could be envisaged by the
Manufacturers.
by the bits.
Did you even have a paddle on board, or were you literally
Yes.
just drifting?
No, we had paddles, one each, just to guide us. But we jumped in the water in town and then drifted for about 3 hours, I guess, until we hit the dam near where I used to live. And then we got out and his mum came and picked us up.
Oh, dear.
And that was really nice. In fact, when I got home, I went online to have a look at the price of a decent dinghy. And I think not this year because summer's finished, basically. But
Yeah.
next year, if it looks amenable, I might well invest, because for about 1,800 crowns, you can get a really decent 4-person dinghy with proper seating, like inflatable
What?
seats.
What would you use a dinghy for?
It's great to spend the day on the river, just floating and just relaxing and just have a beer. It's really nice. You don't
What,
need a yacht, mate.
And then you'd call me up to come and pick you up at the end of the day.
People will always come and pick you up.
I mean, it sounds like quite a nice way to spend a day. 3 hours in the sunshine, though, that's a bit risky.
No, not really. Got a bit of colour.
Yeah. And how's Robin these days? Is he well?
Yeah, he's all right. He sleeps so much.
Sleeps?
I mean, I got to his place at 11 yesterday, and I had to ring the bell to wake him up. I sent him a message at 10:30 telling him I was in town and passing by. No response. So I just knew he was still in bed.
Maybe he just didn't want to talk to you.
No, he just stays in bed at every opportunity.
Really? I wish I could say the same.
It's like a teenage girl.
Well, I certainly don't get to stay in bed much past 6:30 at the moment.
6:30 is lunchtime.
Yeah, but I don't go to bed. At what time do you go to bed? 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, I went to bed quite late last night. It was gone 10 o'clock.
Yeah, well, that's respectable.
So is there nothing that you've got to talk about in the news this week?
No, Not really. As I say, I've been actually focusing on whatchamacallit, the family visit. But there is all sorts of. What I'm surprised is that this Epstein thing is still brewing in America. I mean, it's been going for 3 weeks now.
It's just bullshit. It's so inconsequential. Everyone knows who did what. It's just what's the point of it?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it. Well, I wouldn't actually say it's inconsequential because they're having to make such an effort to cover it up. That's the point. That's the entertainment element. The fact that they're having to lie, literally to people's faces on interviews to try and cover up the fact that there is a lot to expose. And in fact, I think Trump's lawyer or DOJ or whatever went to see Ghislaine Maxwell the other day, and her lawyer came out last night saying that unless she's given immunity and what's it when you reduce a sentence, computation or commu something or others, commuting the sentence, she's not interested in talking to them. So we're just waiting for the pardon.
The thing is, as we discussed last time, if you
we did Epstein. We did a whole program on Epstein.
No, it's not. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the Epstein papers here.
Cover up.
They mean they mean literally nothing if you're trying to pin something on Trump, because there's enough out in the public domain to put him away for 100 years as it is. You don't need Epstein files. Just use what's out there. You've got people, you've got girls coming forward saying that he was sexually abusing them when they were 13 and 14 years old. Fucking charge him.
Yeah. I think it's what riles the GOP is that there was so much. Don't you remember? Hillary Clinton was claimed to be a baby killer, drinking blood of babies and having
100% true. I have photographic evidence.
But and it's so ridiculous. I saw something posted the other day of a picture of Bill Clinton in an airport lounge
blowing a goat
with a professional masseur woman. She was 23, and that made the headlines.
Well, he does have form.
Oh, no, I'm not saying he doesn't have. No, right. I'm not saying he doesn't have form.
I would want to run a UV light over that poor girl's dress after he'd finished his massage.
It was just the fact that she was just a masseuse giving him a neck massage, and that was instantly picked up as potential wrongdoing. I mean, but I'll tell you what is worrying. That that fellow. Do you remember that New York mayor chap?
Of course, we speak about him all the time, Rudy.
Oh no, not Giuliani. No. The most recent one, the one that was caught in a corruption scandal, and
that's all of them.
And he was a Trump supporter. He said, "I'm willing to say anything to support you, Mr. Trump." So Trump instructed the DOJ to drop all charges, and the Attorney General resigned, and then his deputy resigned, and then 6 other people resigned, refusing to drop the charges until they came to some bottom of the barrel, scum of the earth type individual who said, I'll drop the charges. He, in spite of the testimony that he gave while he was, in front of one of these committees, he was approved yesterday. He's now a lifelong appeals judge. He's got a lifelong job as an appellant judge. And it was just outrageous. the things he said, even in this committee, were just outrageous. And the thing is, I don't know if it's. Do you reckon it's true that you can look at someone and they look bad?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, always trust your first impression.
Well,
your gut is very rarely wrong.
I don't think I can instantly pull a picture of this fellow up, but as soon as you see him, he looks like a woman.
Yeah.
He just looks like a woman.
If they look wrong, they usually are wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so that's been going on, the Maxwell thing. He's obviously opened up his golf course in America, Trump.
I don't know. I saw him pictured on a golf course in the UK earlier in the week.
Yeah, that's Scotland. That is part of the UK.
Okay, so he's opened one in America now as well, has he? Another one.
No, wait. You listen to what I'm saying. He was in Scotland opening up a golf course, and you said you saw him in the UK, and I said yes.
I heard you say America. I don't know.
Oh, did I? Oh, I might have said it wrong. Anyway, he was in Scotland, which he seems to. That's what he spends most of his time doing, golfing.
Yeah. Well, he's shit at that as well, because there was a picture of his caddy dropping a ball in a very auspicious position. Yes.
What's on camera?
Yes, got caught on camera placing the ball in a very nice position for the press.
Oh my God.
He cheats at everything. What do you expect? He's a fucking liar and a cheat in every aspect of his life.
Yeah. Actually,
Fucking
we should stop talking about him. That's
Right.
what we should do.
Well, we should.
We're giving him airtime.
Yeah, we can talk. Unfortunately, we are going to talk about America.
Oh no. Oh well, it depends what it is in America. Witches, witch hunts.
No, we're going to talk about, obviously the term
War of Independence.
Banana Republic.
Yes, of course I'm familiar with the term. I'm not too sure what it means though.
Okay, well, it was coined. It's a derogatory term for any country or region that basically derives its GDP from one source. For example, banana crops.
Is that what it actually means? I would have said Banana Republic is something to do with injustice or poor human rights record or something.
It stems from the CIA and the incumbent dictatorship fucking government of Guatemala in the 1950s.
Who was Guatemala? Who was the character in Guatemala?
Oh.
Didn't they have a famous president, not Che Guevara or something, but something along those lines? Or maybe not.
It was a chap called Jorge Ubico. Oh
no, don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, in 1954, we had the CIA. Throughout the 20th century, the early 20th century, an American multinational corporation called United Fruit, who you may well know.
Yeah.
They obviously changed their name for purposes of protecting their identities. They're now known as Chiquita Brands International.
Oh, I know them.
Yes, you see that sticker on every banana you've ever bought.
Exactly.
Well, they controlled vast swathes of Guatemalan land and production, and they were aided by a very corrupt autocracy, and they received literally zero pushback over many decades of economic exploitation.
But sorry, Andy, we're talking about Guatemala.
Yes.
Why Guatemala is a pipsqueak of a country?
Yes.
It's tiny.
Yes.
So how do they corner the world banana market?
I'm not a banana farmer.
Anyway, carry on.
Well, in the 1940s, a democratic revolution and various calls for justice threatened to undermine United Fruit's position. So, the company leveraged its powerful connections inside the White House by painting the new Guatemalan government as a dangerous communist administration in progress.
Oh, we don't like communists.
As a result, the CIA launched Operation PB Success. I don't know what the PB stands for, but I'm guessing it's something banana.
Public banana.
Not public. Why? Anyway, a sweeping coup that would destroy the country's democracy, get a dictator installed, and spark a decades-long civil war and basically a genocide of the indigenous Mayan people.
Wonderful. Well
All
done,
over a
America.
fucking banana. All over a fucking banana. So in the first half of the 20th century, Guatemala was ruled by one product alone, bananas. The country was dubbed the Banana Republic, which, as I said, was a derogatory term often applied to poorer countries whose economies are based on a single crop, in this case, bananas. And these countries are also usually governed by corrupt politicians, like every other country in the fucking world. The banana industry was dominated by United Fruit, and the firm controlled 42% of Guatemala's land, over 2/3 of its exports, and even the telephone and telegraph systems.
And sorry, have we gone through who owns this United Fruits?
No one person, I'm guessing. It's a multinational.
All right.
They were very cozy with Jorge Ubico, Guatemala's president dictator, and United Fruit faced little to no resistance over its widespread bribes, meagre wages, and labour abuses.
Yes.
But in June 1944, tides started to turn. And the Guatemalan Revolution forced Ubico to resign after over a decade in power. And in the aftermath of this revolution, Guatemala went through its first ever legitimate elections in history, promptly electing liberal reformers who promised to introduce a minimum wage, build 6,000 schools, and establish a universal suffrage. Now, as you can imagine, this didn't go down well with United Fruit. And by 1951, so 6 years later, with the election of former Colonel Jacobo Arbenz, Guatemala began eyeing a bigger target, taking back control of its economy. So United Fruit were watching these developments with a bit of trepidation, recognising the distinct threat that the newly invigorated populace posed for its exploitative business practices. Trepidation turned into alarm when the Arbenz administration passed Decree 900. I don't know what 899 were.
9 were. What was 900? What did it say?
Well, this new measure redistributed land to over 100,000 Guatemalan families, aiming to transfer undeveloped land held by large property owners to landless farmers. And United Fruit owned almost half of the country, which included plenty of this targeted land.
Yep.
Now, they were very smart about this, were the Guatemalans.
Who was? Guatemalans, yeah.
This wasn't a normal generic seizure. The government actually paid for every acre it took. And they used valuations that the property owners themselves had listed in their previous tax filings.
Ah, smart.
So you can't argue.
No.
Now, United Fruit, strangely, had been seriously undervaluing its holdings to avoid the taxes. So as such, by the end of 1952, Arbenz's administration had reclaimed 40% of the company's land at very little cost.
All right.
Now, United Fruit couldn't sit back and take this, clearly.
I was going to say, they would
how
not
dare
do that.
you mess with our dollars? It needed the support of the American government, though, to stop Arbenz. And this was in the 50s, the early years of the Cold War. So United Fruit began a strategy that basically framed Guatemala as a communist foe in the US press. And their mission was helped by the company's connections. The Secretary of State at the time, John Foster Dulles, was a former lawyer for United Fruit. His brother, Alan Dulles, was the director of the CIA, who was also formerly on United Fruit's board of directors. It seems to me United Fruit is actually running the government here. The director and the company's PR executive, Ed Whitman, was married to President Dwight Eisenhower's personal secretary, Ann Whitman. So they didn't really need to push hard. Eisenhower was eager to show the world his anti-communist credentials, and under his orders, the CIA began crafting Operation PB Success in August of 1953.
And we still don't know what Operation PB is.
We don't know what it stands for.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to Google it.
The stated intention of Operation PB Success was clear: to remove covertly the menace of the present communist-controlled government of Guatemala. So, in fact, stage a coup. To achieve this goal, the CIA recruited a disgruntled ex-Arbenz military officer named Carlos Castillo Armas. And Armas rallied anti-government sentiment and pieced together an army of a few hundred men, supplied and supported with US equipment and intelligence under Operation PB Success. On June the 18th, 1954, Armas and his men attacked with the help of logistical support from the US. The CIA began by launching a propaganda campaign warning the Guatemalan public and Arbenz that a major invasion was underway. They set up a clandestine radio station that jammed Guatemalan signals and flooded the airwaves with greatly exaggerated messages along the lines of, "It is not true that the waters of Lake Atitlan have been poisoned. At our command post here in the jungle, we are unable to confirm or deny the report that Castillo Armas has an army of 5,000 men." So they basically just spread disinformation. American pilots were hired to bomb fortresses and other strategic points in Guatemala City. And as bogus transmissions filled the airwaves, the CIA used spies within the Guatemalan military and government to actively undermine President Arbenz's authority, demoralize his supporters, and block efforts to counter Armas.
It is amazing that America has managed to get away with so much of this stuff.
I know, and remember Grenada?
Well, I mean, it's just anything you think of. It's all based on bollocks and manipulation and money. And I mean, I know I sound naive saying that, but...
Weapons of mass destruction.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Fucking unbelievable.
It is. So this poor fellow, or Benzi fellow, not a communist, what happened
Trying to rebuild his country from the oppressor, of the American Banana Company.
Yeah.
So the CIA's psychological warfare, unfortunately, succeeded. Panic overtook the capital, and Arbenz's supporters began to lose faith. And when he attempted to raise his own militia, only a few hundred civilians turned up, which would probably have been enough to defeat the alleged army that was incoming.
Exactly, yeah.
On June 27th, 1954, just 9 days later, Arbenz resigned. He sought asylum at the Mexican embassy, and he later fled the country.
Poor chap.
Now, while many American authorities were pleased with the CIA's coup, Other countries didn't hesitate to make their disgust clear. When Alan Dulles described the coup as a victory of democracy over communism, a British official, surprisingly,
By the name of...
no, doesn't say, but likened that statement as to Hitler speaking about Austria. Newspapers around the world condemned the Guatemalan coup, calling it economic colonialism. It's basically what it was. Meanwhile, calling the coup in Guatemala a victory for democracy also proved to be a stretch. Armas promptly arrested several thousand opposition leaders, branded them as communists, and actually repealed the democratic constitution of 1945. Progressive reforms such as labour unions were dismantled, and of course, United Fruit was welcomed back in. Now, this new regime had profound implications for Guatemala over the next 30 years. From 1960 to 1996, a civil war swept the country. So 36 years
Of civil war.
over bananas. Fucking unbelievable. Leftist rebels with a large degree of popular support fought against government forces supplied with American weapons. The largest of these groups was the Guerrilla Army of the Poor, a force of insurgents that included as many as 270,000 members at one point, and they were mostly ethnically Mayan people. In an attempt to wipe out this opposition, the regime began a scorched earth policy against its opponents, systematically jailing and exterminating ethnic Mayans. A UN-sponsored Commission for Historical Clarification in 1999 concluded that the US training of the officer corps in counterinsurgency techniques had a significant bearing on human rights violations during the armed confrontation. Today, this period of ethnic cleansing is known as the Guatemalan Genocide or Silent Holocaust, in which some 200,000 people were killed, mostly indigenous Mayans. Fuck you, United Fruit. And fuck your bananas.
But what is interesting is that everybody buys their bananas from this company.
I know. It's like we empower these fuckers to do what they do. But I don't think people are aware. I really don't believe that people are aware what these fucking multinational corporations do to get their products on your shelf. Documents about Operation PB Success were hidden for decades, but they have been declassified in recent years, and in the process, the United States' long and rather unsavoury history of intervention in developing countries has become increasingly clear. They're fucking... they're warmongers. They're fucking awful.
What happened after 96 in Guatemala?
Well, the civil war ended with a peace accord between the government and the guerrilla fighters, but the country is still struggling to come to terms with the effects of that brutal era, particularly the hundreds of thousands of indigenous lives that were lost. As for United Fruit, the corporation rebranded in 1984 as Chiquita Brands International. The company still sells bananas all over the world, and it remains the leading distributor of bananas in the US. And that is the story of the Banana Republic.
I mean, it's just interesting that, you know, you go to Ecamaxi in Mora and you're buying these things. Would you, well, that's the question really. Would you stop buying them having heard this story?
I don't buy bananas very often, but I don't think you've got much choice in banana distributors.
No, but generally speaking, let's move away from just bananas. I don't think many people would be bothered what happened 80 years ago, actually.
When it involves murdering 200,000 people, I think it should really rattle some cages.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that it wasn't politically motivated. It was just money.
Yeah, it was financially motivated. It's
That's
basically
all.
exploitation. Basically
Yeah,
breaking every law about wage theft, people trafficking, slavery,
yeah.
everything that people have fought for over the years. They're basically supporting as long as it's in somebody else's country. Fuck them.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's very, I wasn't aware of it. It's good that you remind me of these sort of things occasionally.
I mean,
But
it's not really a strange story, but it's one that needs telling, and it's well, it is kind of strange how we can run a country with such double standards
yeah,
that
the
we pretend to
hypocrisy.
uphold democracy and be
Yeah,
the police force of the world,
yeah, yeah.
and yet at the same time be Hitler in another country.
No, but you see, that's what's so interesting because when this Hegseth, Vance, J.D. Vance, the deputy vice president in America, keeps going on about the Christian values that should be upheld and such like, and the history of Christian values in America, it's just all bollocks. It's literally all bollocks. Anyway, enough people believe it, of course. 78 million of them.
Yeah.
Now, sorry to change. Now, this is a bit random, I have to say. Did you hear about this story? The word president knocked into my head. Have you heard this story about President Macron's missus?
She is a man.
she used to be a man.
Yes, of course I've heard it.
Why? What is this nonsense?
It's true. I have proof.
I mean, the things that people think up to make a name for themselves.
I mean, if you look at some of her pictures, it's debatable.
What do you mean? She's a very petite little lady, isn't she?
What?
Mrs.
No,
Macron.
I think she's taller than him.
No.
I think she is. He's a midget, isn't he? Isn't he
I
one
don't
of
know.
our little friends, a little person?
I don't know.
He seems like one. He's so inconsequential. I always picture him as a midget. Sorry, midgets.
It's a bit unkind because Macron he's held on to power for quite some time in France.
Yeah, but
actually.
I don't understand how or why, because he's not popular.
Well, he's obviously popular enough to stay in power. I mean, you know, France is a democracy. That's for sure. Yes, but anyway, she's being sued. The influencer who has made her name claiming that she's a man is now being sued.
But does that mean that the missus is going to have to get her pee-pee out in court?
Prove it. Prove you're not a man.
Come on in. If you're not a man, have a baby.
Oh, do they have any children?
I don't think so. Clearly not. Otherwise, that would have been the first thing that someone would clap back with.
Hang on a second, darling. Isn't there a bit of an issue here? They obviously don't. Does Macron?
No, they obviously don't. I think
No,
she was already
I mean,
past the menopause when they got together, for God's sake.
The top of the list, does Macron have children?
Yes, because you're being heard. Anyway, I've got a couple of weird news stories for you, because that was quite a short episode, so we're going to have a little couple of fillers. Indonesia.
She's had 3 children.
Yeah, but not with him.
What difference does that make?
I'm saying she was obviously past the menopause age when they got together, because he was 16 and she was 82.
Yes, but men don't have menopause, Andy. It may surprise you to know.
No, but she couldn't have children by the time they got together. She was dried like a prune, left in the sun.
Oh dear.
Anyway, weird news from Indonesia on June the 15th.
What do you mean, Indonesia? The
I'm telling
things
you,
you think up.
I just told you we're going to have a couple of weird news stories to
Go for it.
bolster up our time here, because that was quite a short episode.
It was. It could have been a lot longer if you'd managed to do some research.
I think we covered just about everything that needed covering. But anyway, a 54-year-old Indonesian woman was found dead on the Isle of Sulawesi after being swallowed whole by a 23-foot python.
She must have been. Well, of course, she could have been quite petite as an Indonesian.
The night before, Watiba left her village to tend to her garden located about half a mile from her house. The family reported that she wanted to check the garden because wild boars often destroyed the crops. When Tiba didn't return home by sunrise, her sister went to look for her near the garden. She could only find some of her sister's belongings, including a flashlight, her machete, and her sandals. Soon, about 100 worried locals, including relatives, launched a search party. Then they came across a 23-foot reticulated python with a bloated midsection around 100 feet away from where her belongings were found.
Sorry, what's a reticulated? You don't know.
Yeah, it's one that's sort of squeezing and digesting and trying to force something further down into its stomach. Residents were suspicious that the snake had swallowed the victim, so they killed it, then carried it out of the garden, said the local police chief. After carrying the python back to the villagers sliced open its carcass, and inside they found the body of Watiba, who'd been swallowed head first. That must be a fucking horrible way to go.
Yeah, but I think you're dead before they swallow you. Aren't pythons restrictors? Constrictors.
Yeah.
So I think she would have been dead.
And then,
yeah.
Okay. I might have made up that thing about the reticulation. A reticulated python is a kind of python, apparently. And reticulated pythons like this are one of the longest snakes in the world, and they're quite widespread in Indonesia as well as other parts of Southeast Asia. These creatures, which can reach lengths more than 25 feet and weigh more than 120 pounds, use their incredible size to squeeze their prey to death before swallowing whole and digesting over the course of days or even weeks.
That's 60 kilos.
That's kind of small.
I was going to say that's not as big.
Weight-wise, but 25 feet long.
Yeah. No.
They regularly kill and eat creatures usually about a quarter of their own size, including monkeys and pigs. But reports of humans being killed by these pythons are rare, but this was the second attack of a human by a python in Indonesia in a little over a year.
Answer: kill all pythons.
Yes, exterminate, genocide, pythonocide. And we'll just do one more because it's kind of amusing.
It's not someone's tragic death inside a python, is it?
No, it's a couple from Aurora in Colorado.
Colorado, yep, we know Colorado.
Arrested for 4 counts of animal cruelty.
Oh dear, this is not involving peepees, is it?
Police allege that Frederick Manzanares, 50, and Jeanette Eileen Solano, 48, converted a backyard motorhome into a chamber used to have sex with their dog, a Siberian Husky mix named Bubba.
I wonder why did they need to make a special place to have sex with the dog?
Maybe the dog felt more comfortable in the motorhome. Charges brought against Manzanares and Sonaro included neglect and mistreatment. They'd been investigating the alleged crime for nearly a year.
What?
I don't know. Starting in March 2017, after Solano called the Aurora Police Department to report an incident of domestic violence and some dark, weird news. When an officer met her at a local gas station, Solano informed him that she was leaving Manzanares because he had been pressuring her into having sex with their dog. Solano confronted Manzanares after she discovered bestiality pictures and videos on their shared laptop, and he responded by asking her to keep an open mind. Then, according to the arrest affidavit, he spent the following 6 months introducing her to bestiality videos, bestiality forums, as well as providing her different literature on bestiality. The homemade chamber included a customised bench with red padding and a dog hormone spray to arouse the dog. I'm guessing that Solano wasn't very attractive to huskies. Manzanares would take pictures and videos during the sex acts, which the police have now obtained and can be viewed on YouTube or the police force's OnlyFans page. Solano also told authorities that Manzanares sent her pictures of Bubba while she was at work with text messages such as, "He's thinking of you."
So how long do you get in prison for that?
Well, bestiality is considered as animal cruelty, which is a misdemeanor crime in Colorado, so there is no prison.
What?
It's a misdemeanor. It's only considered animal cruelty. Animals.
You can go to prison for animal cruelty, surely.
Not in Colorado. It's a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is basically littering.
Wasn't there something about Sweden and bestiality?
Yeah, it was only.
It was only outlawed about 2 years ago.
Yeah. You're no longer allowed to do that.
I mean,
it was a huge sigh of relief from every cow in the country.
Yeah. Oh dear. Where are you getting that? Is there a there used to be actually, Reuters used to have a weird news headline
there's
or
a
something.
few sites that have interesting stuff, and one of them, funny enough, is called allthat'sinteresting.com, and you can find all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff there.
Oh. Yeah.
And thank God for them, because they are generally quite useful and amusing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a dark side, a bestiality story, and some poor innocent woman who just went gardening and ended up being eaten.
Well, wouldn't you rather hear that than continuous nonsense about fucking migrant protests outside hotels?
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Although, there's something to be said for that as well.
What always amazes me about these migrant hotels is when they describe them as 4-star hotels.
Well, some of them actually are.
No, some of them were.
Yeah.
I
So they were described.
You're not getting 4-star service provided. These poor people probably have gruel for breakfast and maybe a ham sandwich, ex British Rail ham sandwich given to them for dinner. It's not. They don't have spas and things that they use. It always sounds so ridiculous that they make such a thing. A 4-star hotel?
Well, I mean, there was a story in the Current Bun today about a new build complex of apartments. There was 9 apartments, and they're all being handed over to migrants.
Well, when you say handed over,
I mean,
they're being used to accommodate migrants.
Yes.
Yeah.
In an area where there's severe homelessness and, lack of
It's
housing.
the Current Bun.
Lack of housing. But I mean, it is an issue. We've
there's
got,
no doubt about it, but it's
we've got a bill
the
of-
issue is
I
a
think
shortage of housing.
the issue is that we're not throwing anybody out who comes in illegally. That's the issue. There's £9 million a day being spent on hotels for illegal immigrants.
Yeah, but it's such an obvious answer. I completely agree. It's a complete waste of money. And what's the solution? Speed up the process.
There is no process. It's
precisely
nothing.
That is the
happens.
point. No, but that's
Nothing
the
happens
point.
whatsoever.
That is exactly the point. So
Anyway,
you could
I was
eliminate
trying-
all the 9 million a day. Just process, speed up.
You could, and also, I mean, the current bun. You have to give them credit for hatred
Well.
stirring.
Oh, yes.
They keep showing pictures of outside of these migrant lodgings of all the migrants getting on their Deliveroo and Foodora mopeds, doing their jobs of delivery while they're still claiming all the benefits and getting their rent paid by the British taxpayer. So, I mean, obviously people are going fucking mental. I can understand it. They're playing the system left, right and centre.
Yeah, because British people don't play the system.
No, but they never thought of it first. That's the problem.
Do you know what is quite staggering? And you know I'm a liberal lefty, but what is quite staggering is the number of people who are actually on benefits these days.
I know
It's not just like 1% of the population. It's like 20%
it's
of the
actually
population.
a career choice now. It's a career choice. People don't want to work. They don't see why they should.
I don't. Well, no, that I completely agree with. What is the point?
Yeah.
If I lived in America, I would think, what the hell is the point?
I mean,
Why? What's the point of working in America?
Yeah.
You're just going to get shafted left, right, and centre, and it's the same in the UK.
Yeah. What's the point of working in the UK? You're
never going to be able to
afford a house.
Precisely.
You can't
all
afford
of that.
a car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. So, I mean, you know, what interests me is the current bun is talking about whatever it is, 47,000 refugee claimants or whatever, and they're forgetting the millions of people.
47,000.
Well, whatever it is. What is it? Last year it was 47,000 last year, I think it was.
47,000 a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
not a total. We're talking about hundreds of thousands.
No, but it's still a drop in the ocean compared to the millions of, what do you call them, indigenous British, proud to be British, who just have given up.
Not all of them are indigenous. Just because a dog's born in a stable doesn't make it a horse.
Is that an expression? Is that really an expression?
It is now. Anyway, we end this on a light note with the story of the three-way with the husky.
Oh no, I don't want to get the details.
No.
With us.
He had a lovely coat on him.
What happened to the poor husky? Did you find out?
He was a very good boy.
God dear.
No, there's. I mean, he's probably gone into doggy counselling. He'll be all right. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Thanks all for listening. Hope you learned something about the Guatemala.
Yeah. Think twice when you next eat a Chiquita banana.
Yeah, try not to buy Chiquita bananas if you can help it. I mean, I know that it's impossible if they're not.
I don't think you can, it can't in Mora.
No. But yeah, be aware of where your shit comes from. Because usually shit comes from an arsehole. So we'll see you next week. Have yourselves a strange week. Don't do any three ways with a husky.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Ciao for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.